I'm going to show you my process that's very quick on how to restring and clean up your acoustic guitar very quickly. It doesn't take any longer than 10 minutes. And if you get really used to it, you can even do it in like 5 minutes. You're going to need these items: guitar strings, lemon oil, unless you've got a maple neck on your guitar, a cloth, furniture polish or guitar polish, and finally a string winder comes in handy but not essential. Step 1, you need to slightly unwind the strings to take a little bit of tension off. You can do this with a string winder, but I just do it by hand because you only need to take a bit of tension off. Step 2 is to get your string cutters and snip all of the strings where the sound hole is. Step 3 is to remove all of the bridge pins. You'll normally need something to put in there to get them out because they're normally in quite tight. And remove the strings. Step 4 is to remove the strings at the headstock of the guitar. Literally just unwind them with your hand and pull out. Step 5, just spray the whole guitar now in furniture polish or guitar polish if you have it, and then wipe it. I do the front first and then the back. Just wipe it all up until you've got all the dirt and grub off the guitar, and until it's just super shiny as well, unless your guitar's got a matte finish like this one has, in which case it'll still sheen a little bit. The guitar neck is where a lot of dirt and grime normally collects over time. This guitar's done a lot of gigs, over 1,000 gigs this guitar's done now. Way over 1,000 gigs. Get the headstock as well. A lot of dust collects in the headstock over time. And then get the back and sides of the guitar as well. Particularly the back of the neck, with this part of it, because it'll make the guitar neck, it'll just make it glide when you're playing, which some people don't like that. I really, really like that. I like the neck to feel slidey. Like I said at the start of the video, for what it's worth, it only takes 5 minutes extra to clean the guitar up and polish it. If you're using the lemon oil, it can take a little bit longer. That steps the next process. But it's definitely worth doing it, in my opinion, with the lemon oil. This guitar doesn't particularly need it, but I'm going to show you how to do it in a minute and why to use it as well. So you potentially can't see that on the video, maybe you can, but it looks stunning and shiny now. Well, as shiny as a matte finish can get. And that's polished up now. Step 6, this is my favourite part of the process. Get the lemon oil and just douse it all over the neck. All over it. If it's maple, don't use it. This is an optional step. And I do it with my hands. You can do it with a cloth. I do it with my hands. It makes the guitar smell really nice as well, this. But what it will do now is it will darken the wood. So this lemon oil comes in really handy if the neck on your guitar, if the wood's dried out on the neck of your guitar. Now, a lot of the time when you buy guitars new, some of the necks, particularly on like things like, I'm going to talk electric ones here, but Gibson SGs and whatnot, some of the necks can look really light coloured. If you put some lemon oil on it, it will darken it. You can probably see that now. And then let that soak in for about, I actually put it on the back of the neck as well, because I just do, I like the feel of it. It makes the neck feel a bit more slidey. And then if you let that soak in for about 5 minutes, dry it off with a cloth. Step 7, take your guitar strings out of the packet and put them all into their holes and put the bridge pins back in with them. I'm using the Dario gauge 11 through 52. I do normally use a heavier gauge than these on an acoustic, but I am going lighter just for a change, because why not? So you just put all of the strings in. You can do them individually and go up to the headstock and tune them one at a time, but I prefer to just put them all in. So there's the high E. There's the B. Pull the string a little bit whilst you're doing it. If you're unsure which string is which when you're doing it, every guitar pack tells you which string's which. These strings are colour coded, and the pack will tell you which colour is which string. A string, and then the low E string, last one. Step 8 is to send all of the guitar strings to the tuning pegs. So this one is the low E. Pull it not tight, but you want to pull it tight and then pull it back a little bit, because you want to get one wind worth on the machine head. And then this is where the string winder comes in handy. Wind the string up, and whilst it's doing it, once it gets a turn out of it, pull it taut and it keeps it neat. Sometimes when you're doing it, you want to just push the bridge pin down just to make sure that it's in tight, and then repeat that process with all the other strings. This is the A string. Don't worry about tuning it up just yet. You are better doing this, by the way, on a surface that the whole guitar can lie on, so that it's not wobbling about, because like this one is that I'm using. So what, more like a workbench, but I'm very limited to resources today. These string winders actually save so much time. Doing this manually by hand, this is the part that can take a while. But if you've got a string winder, you can do it in a couple of minutes. And it's even quicker when you're doing it on a proper workbench as well, where the guitar's not wobbling all over the show. Halfway through. Make sure all of the guitar strings on the upper side of the guitar, so the low strings all wind the same way as each other, and then make sure the higher strings, the higher pitched strings on the other side, all wind the same way as each other. So the 3 high strings will actually wind a different way to the 3 low strings. But the 3 high strings, the G, the B and the high E, will all wind the same way as each other. So that basically all of your high strings wind that way to the neck and then around like that. The 3 low strings go, the string follows that way and then around like that. This is actually taking a lot longer than it normally would, just because it's actually, I'd normally be sat down doing this. This is actually a slightly awkward position that I'm doing this from. I should be on the other side of the guitar really doing a string. There we go. Done. Step 9 is to get your string cutters and cut the excess string off as close to the tuning peg as you can. This is, I find, one of the most satisfying parts of restringing a guitar. It is actually quite a satisfying process. Normally, especially once you've got the hang of it, it's a nice feeling, or it's a nice feeling result once it's done, and it's sounding much nicer with new strings on and feeling much nicer as well. That's that done, and that just cleans up the guitar so much. Step 10 is to tune the guitar up. You don't have to be super precise with your tuning on this one. I actually tune up slightly past the note I mean, but only slightly. I need, but only slightly. Then check the tuning again, fine tune it. Step 11, and I feel this is one of the most important parts, is stretch the strings out. So by stretching the strings out once it's in tune, this will stop it going out of tune so much. When you're playing it, don't pull the strings too hard because you don't want to snap them. Just stretch them out. Done. And then finally, step 12, tune it up one more time. And this one you really want to fine tune now. You'll see how much of a difference stretching those strings out makes with this. You'll notice it's stretched a lot out of tune when you're doing it. And then tune it again. It should be just subtle movements now that you'll need. And then the guitar is ready with beautiful new strings on, all polished up, looking beautiful and feeling amazing. I hope that helps. That's just my process for doing it. If you could subscribe to my channel, I'm always posting guitar lessons and content. If you could like the video as well, that would be amazing. Enjoy the process, and I'll catch you in another one.